One of these. Bum, 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 bum.
Our first story takes us to Las Vegas, Nevada, where Judge Douglas Herndon's presiding.
Yes,
The
sir.
defendant is Gary Walters, who's on parole for various financial crimes. He's in court today over restitution he was ordered to pay as part of his sentence.
This is what?
I've been making my payments. I've been on Social Security. I've been paying what I can
Okay.
in restitution.
Okay.
All of a sudden, he says, "You got to pay $26,000 a month."
Oh,
As Walters makes
they
his
did do
case,
that.
there's a
They should
man
have been
standing
did that.
a few feet behind him. And the judge takes notice.
You're gonna have to go back to original court and then possibly.
Hey, hold on a second. Who's this guy staring at me over here?
This is Kim Blandino.
I'm a co-plaintiff in the civil case.
Kim Blandino has nothing to do with this criminal case, and he's not even a lawyer.
He got nothing to do with the
But
kids while
he
he
is a
in.
co-plaintiff in a civil suit that Walters has filed against his former attorney. Blandino has earned a dubious reputation for filing frivolous motions and joining civil suits where he has no affiliation. But Judge Herndon is not about to let Blandino disrupt his courtroom.
Okay, are you an attorney?
No, not.
Then you need to sit down and quit staring at me like somehow you need to talk to me or whatever.
I
'cause
do
you're
need
not-
to.
Pardon?
Can I make a record?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to make a record about you in a minute, but you need to sit down and be quiet because you're not a plaintiff or a defendant in my criminal case. You're not an attorney. You can't appear in my criminal case and act like an attorney, so sit down and be quiet. Mr. Walters, go ahead.
Walters continues, but when Blandino physically reacts to Judge Herndon's comments, the judge has a few choice words for him in his habit of acting like an attorney.
You know what? Let me tell you something.
I dare you to let me build you a completely free e-commerce store.
You want to act like an asshole, act like an asshole, but I'm telling you, that gets you nowhere in court. And you know what else gets you nowhere in court? Sitting in the audience of a court while a judge is engaging with somebody and shaking your head and being all demonstrative. So get out.
I'm sorry, it was inadvertent.
No, it wasn't inadvertent. Don't give me that. It's not inadvertent. It's never, get out. It's never inadvertent when you come in and act all disrespectful to people.
Blandino exits, but feeling disrespected,
Depending
he
of the
later
court.
files a motion to have Judge Herndon disqualified from the case. The motion was denied.
Motion denied.
State of Nevada versus Kim Dennis Blandino.
18 months later, Blandino's back in court, but this time as a defendant. He's been charged with extortion and is under house arrest. He has a hearing before Judge James Bixler, who's well aware of Blandino's history as a wannabe litigator. Blandino's representing himself, but the court has appointed Steve Alter as co-counsel, which puts Blandino in a combative mood.
Mr. Alder, will you accept appointment as standby counsel?
I have an objection.
Shut up.
I have a right to object, I believe, Your Honor.
Having been
You
shot
have
at.
the right to get held in contempt of court. And that's what's going to happen if you don't shut up. I'm not putting up with any of your crap here today. Your reputation has preceded you. Will you accept appointment on him as standby counsel?
Your Honor, I can. However, Mr. Blandino, after we spoke outside, wanted a little bit of time to speak to me in detail about this case and his desires, and then also to look into my background a little bit before he would agree.
He wanted to interview you?
Yes, sir.
I object to that laughing, Judge.
I object to
Hey,
you.
object to that laughing judge.
I think the defendant has already categorized
Judge don't give a
himself
fuck about this
as a
mother.
vexatious litigant.
I object.
You can object all you want.
Can I make a record?
No.
I've got a motion.
What did I just say?
You don't want to let him do nothing.
No.
He said
I can't say
yeah.
anything.
No.
Blandino refuses to quit,
He
to the
can't
point
be
where others in the
said, bruh.
courtroom begin reprimanding him.
Come on. Shut up.
Stop.
Shut up.
Judge telling
You're
you shut
getting
up.
real close to getting remanded.
Blandino finally gets the message and agrees to meet with the court-appointed counsel.
Okay. Okay. Bye-bye. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. I think you're very impatient, though, sir.
Blandino remained under house
Look
arrest
at
for
that damn
extortion,
paperwork. If he ain't a real
impersonating
lawyer,
a
where he
public
call that
officer.
paperwork from? Crazy.
Next, we're in family court in Las Vegas, Nevada. 26-year-old Monica Contreras is here to vacate a temporary restraining order filed against her by her estranged husband. The routine hearing lasts just a few minutes, and Contreras' 2-year-old daughter joins her just off camera.
So I'm just going to close the case out and dissolve the order.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
But before Contreras is able to leave, courtroom marshal Ron Fox takes her to another room to perform a drug search, while her daughter plays with hearing master Patricia
I
Doninger on
think
the
I heard
bench.
this one. I think he touched her or
Later,
something. She was
Contreras
like,
is
trying
back
he
in the
touched. He touched
But
her.
there's a problem.
Then they try to take the baby
She
from her or
begins
some
telling
shit.
the other courtroom marshal that she wasn't comfortable with how the drug search was performed.
What are you allegating that my officer did? He said, can I just have you pull up your shirt and show me that there's no drugs in there? I said, well, I really don't think that's a good idea. I think I'd rather have you.
He shouldn't have been doing no search on no woman anyway. They should have went and got a female cop.
Still searching Contreras' purse, Marshal Fox doesn't like what he's hearing.
Okay, so store stands, handcuff her. You bring her in.
Why would I be arrested?
Hold on.
For what, sir?
Hold on.
Okay, it was. Why would I be arrested? Can you please tell me?
Yeah, why would she be arrested?
Can you please tell me?
Because of false allegations made against a police officer. So.
What?
Making a false allegation
Yeah, he
against a
determined
police
that
officer?
shit. That's
In
crazy.
this context,
Making a
that
false
would be a
allegation
crime in
against a
Clark
police
County.
officer.
For what?
Hearing Master Patricia Doninger turns her back on the situation.
Please tell me.
Put your hands behind your back.
Oh, she did.
Then, without getting any further explanation of the charges, she asked to have Contreras' daughter removed from the courtroom.
Can we do something with a little
Why would I be arrested though?
If you could call up Child Haven for me.
Child Haven is the
Oh,
county's
yeah,
child
that's-
protective services facility.
Child services.
In just a matter of minutes, Contreras went from appearing at a routine court hearing to getting arrested, and now having her daughter taken away from her.
You're saying it.
not turn around, I will also add
Okay, stop. What did I do to anyone? Leave me alone, please.
Tell the truth.
Tell the
Tell the
truth.
truth.
I don't want to press charges. I don't want to kill anyone. I just wanted to end.
Jimmy, I got court. I still have to do this, so arrest her. I take the kid. We're done.
Why would you
Hey,
do that to
Judy.
me, sir?
Because you're making
I'm
false
not making
allegations.
false allegations, sir. Why would you put me in this position? I'm a good person. No, I don't.
This dude right here feel guilty as hell. This cop, he feel guilty as hell.
It was all lies. It was all lies. It was all lies. Let me go.
Now she's like, whatever, it's all lies.
On record, on tape. In the courtroom.
I just want to go home, please. I just want to go home, please.
He's
Sounds
scared.
like Contreras is going to recant her statement about the marshal's inappropriate handling of the drug search. Or maybe not.
That's what happened. You. You put me in the room and you asked me to lift up my shirt without a witness. You asked me to lift my shirt without a witness.
As she's handcuffed in front of her young daughter, Contreras singles out hearing Master Donninger for seemingly ignoring her pleas for help.
He probably did do it.
How could you watch? How could you watch? You asked me to pull up my shirt. Leave me alone. I don't want to go to jail. I'm just trying to defend myself. He said, can you please pull up your shirt without a witness? He said, can you please pull up your shirt without a witness?
You already lied. It's on record.
I didn't lie.
These tapes.
I didn't lie.
Contreras is taken to jail, formally charged with providing false information to a police officer and disturbing the peace. Her daughter's turned over to special services until the girl's father picked her up later that day. 2 months after the incident, Contreras filed a complaint against Marshall Fox, claiming that in addition to improper protocol, the officer also groped her breast and buttocks during the drug search. An investigation by Clark County Internal Affairs would validate her claims. She was later awarded $200,000 in a court settlement.
Ooh.
As for those responsible for the courtroom injustice, the perpetrator, Marshal Ron Fox, was fired immediately following the investigation. Marshal James Kenyon was later relieved of his duties, and hearing master Patricia Donninger was out 2 years later after the video went public.
She left too.
In a world where
She
you've
left
constantly
too.
been told what you can't do, who will you choose to be when presented with something?
The damn commercials be killing me. Welcome to the channel for all the ones that are in. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for tuning in.
A book for a whole different reason. Lawyers and a judge are trying to select a jury, a critical step in ensuring a fair trial. The defendant is Jose Azucena, who's charged with 40 counts of sexual misconduct, including kidnapping and rape of a minor. It's day 2 of jury selection, and Azucena's attorney is interviewing a prospective juror who sits off camera. The judge listens on.
So can you be fair to both sides?
I think I would be biased.
You're off this jury, but you didn't say that yesterday.
It looks like the judge has taken issue with a potential juror.
Well, I said I had
No, listen, what we're not going to have in this jury is people coming in overnight and thinking up and trying to mix up now so they can get out of the jury. That's not going to happen, all right? Right? Because if I find that someone said something yesterday under oath and changes it because they're trying to fabricate something to get out of serving on this jury, there's going to be repercussions.
The judge is unsatisfied and demands an explanation.
What's going on here? Tell me what's going on.
I said I had other issues yesterday, and you said you'd get back to me.
All right, so why you got issues? Why can't you're saying that you can't be fair and impartial to both sides? You're going to completely throw out our entire justice system because you don't want to be fair and impartial.
Disgusted with the juror, who happens to be a nurse, the judge throws a book, which turns out to be a pocket-sized version of the U.S. Constitution, against the wall. Things are heating up, so attorneys attempt to intervene.
Your Honor, may we approach? Your Honor, we can't approach. You're not going to be fair and impartial.
Like I said, with my nursing history, and I've been involved with child abuse, and I've been involved with incest with young girls that deliver 13 years old. It makes me rather, biased.
Ma'am, you're off this jury. You're off this jury. You're removed. Go home. All right?
The nurse is excused from jury duty, not before the judge gets in one last remark.
I don't like your attitude.
The case against Azucena eventually makes it to trial
The
and
judge
is
is
found
pissed
guilty.
off.
He's sentenced to life in prison, but that's not where the story ends.
You're saying that you can't be fair and impartial to both sides.
The Nevada Supreme Court overturns the conviction, claiming Judge Scotty created an intimidating environment which tainted the jury panel. Asuzan is awarded a new trial and a new judge. Until then, he remained in custody. Although Scotty apologized for the incident, his outburst resulted in ethics charges, courtesy of the Nevada Commission of Judicial Discipline.
You're removed. Go home. All right?
Kick the juror out.
If you're a man, then you've probably heard multiple versions.
We're inside the Highland County
41
Courthouse in
kids, that's
Greenfield,
crazy.
Ohio. At the edge of the camera's view, deputies are taking 34-year-old Nicholas Garrison into custody. He's been convicted of possession of methamphetamine. But as the deputies are about to find out, he's in possession of another kind of speed. Now he's going, gone.
He is gone.
Let's back things up and see exactly what happened here. Watch as Garrison waits to make his break until both deputies have their backs to him. He then splits the two officers. And a third is no match for his open court speed.
Wow.
He hits the stairs as Deputy Ben Reno takes a flying leap over the railing to stop him. But Garrison just slips through his fingers and is able to break out of the courthouse and escape outside. Nicholas Garrison would elude police for almost 4 days before being captured.
4 days.
He now faces additional charges for his courtroom breakout. As for Deputy Reno, who took that daring dive into the stairwell, he suffered 4 broken ribs and a minor concussion in his attempt to foil the escape, but eventually made a full recovery.
Look, son, I would have
Is
never.
everybody ready to listen to me?
Next, we go to a child custody hearing in Las Vegas, Nevada.
All right, we're here on
The plaintiff is Shelby Bachman, and the defendant, Jonathan King. The couple are arguing over visitation rights for their 2-year-old son, Joseph. The issue is King's unpredictable work schedule. The attorneys are Don Procopius, and for the defense, Machancy Kramer.
Because my client is a UPS driver, his schedule, though, is not a set schedule. It varies. So he has to keep her notified of when his schedule is changing so that she's aware of pickup. She has told him now if he's more than half an hour late, he forfeits his entire weekend and can't see the kid.
Has Joseph gone weekends that he would have expected to see his father without seeing his father?
He has not missed one weekend. Not one.
The threat was made.
I
Not
didn't
one.
ask you if the threat was made. I asked if it happened. You led me to believe that it was happening.
No.
My client has worked with him at times that it was till Saturday morning that he picked up.
There is a problem here.
After hearing from both sides, Judge Sandra Pomerantz
See, mama, baby,
points to
daddy
the lack
stuff.
of cooperation between the parents.
What I see here is parties not being creative. But these two need to be adult enough to say, okay, this happened, where do we go from here?
But Your Honor, and I agree with you. And so what she's done is on these times where she's worked with him, but then I think it was within the last 2 weekends.
I thought you said you agreed with me.
I do agree with you.
Okay, so listen to me. You're going to be done with this case when this case is over and these parties are divorced. They'll never be done with this case. Okay? So rather than complaining to me, it's a discussion with Mr. Procopius being creative.
It appears the judge has struck a nerve with the defense.
My client has come up with all kinds of solutions, Your Honor, and it comes down to what Mom wants is what Mom is going to demand.
Okay, I don't buy that.
Well, Your Honor, that's how it is.
What I'm telling you is, have you discussed this issue with Mr. Procopius?
Yes, I have in the hallway.
Okay. And has it been a matter of making demands or saying, what are we going to do?
No, it's a matter of calling my client.
Whoa.
Things begin to get personal, and the judge has a few words for Kramer.
I do have experience with you using inappropriate language.
And you know
toward
that I
her.
would admit it if I had done it. And if I was going to do it, I would have done it to her face.
I do lawyer is very upset.
you want to be a sailor, fine. Go be a sailor in your private life. But don't be a sailor in my court or in my cases.
I didn't.
And again, I don't judge people with sailor language because I use a little sailor language, but only in my
Sailor
private
language.
life. Not
Wow, I
in my
haven't heard that
courtroom,
term in so long.
Not to a litigant, not to an attorney. I don't do that because that's not professional. And ma'am, I warn you, one of these days, the State Bar is going to catch up to that. Because if you read the rules, there is an ethical rule about fairness to opposing counsel.
I know that there are also rules about treating people equally without regard to race, ethnicity, or gender. I find it highly objectionable that anyone complains about my language because I know all kinds of male attorneys who have no problem picking up the phone and screaming cuss words at me. So if I am outside there where my First Amendment rights are in full effect, I will say what I choose to say when I choose to say it, and that is my right in this country.
Are you done?
But after a few minutes of civility, the counselor starts up again.
We've spent, 5-10 minutes talking about nothing that is relevant to this case because I, as a female attorney, am being chastised over language that men feel free to use every single day, and they do.
You are giving me a headache because you're yelling. And I don't like that.
Well, I'm being attacked, Your Honor.
No, you're not.
Just being annoyed.
Counsel. I'm done hearing from you.
Unsatisfied with the party's solutions,
People already did all that and made this dude just lose his case.
Which means the parents will submit evidence against each other and the judge will make a ruling. In a child custody case, it can get ugly.
Your lawyers are going to be painting a picture for me in court. And it's not going to be a great picture of either one of you about the other.
Even after the judge makes her decision, the defense tries one last argument.
Your Honor.
I have nothing more to say, and I want to hear from either one of you. I'm going to set the trial.
I understand that.
So sit down.
The couple's evidentiary hearing is postponed multiple times and has yet to be heard.
Oh my God, take me home.
We now go to Brimfield Township, Ohio, where County Judge Rebecca Doherty isn't presiding over her courtroom. She's making demands at the local police station.
Do me a favor and have a seat so we can do our job. I'm not going to call anybody yet, okay? We have stuff we have to do.
I'm going to tell you now to call Lieutenant Limbert now.
Have a seat.
Call him.
Or I'm going to put you in the cell.
So why is this judge so aggravated? Let's go back earlier in the night.
Hello?
An officer's body camera records as he approaches an SUV that's crashed off the side of a snow-covered road.
Are you okay?
No, I'm not.
What's going on? Ma'am, you've got vomit down here in your door. 330 deal. Have you been drinking?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have your ID handy?
I'm Becky Doherty. I'm the judge.
Your judge?
To be more specific, she is the county's common pleas court judge, 55-year-old Rebecca Doherty.
Kidding me?
Am I kidding about what?
I am absolutely out of my mind with...
You're intoxicated.
I am so intoxicated.
The officer's body cam continues to
It's
record
a hard
as the
night.
judge is escorted into booking.
Oh my God, take me home. Okay,
Have a seat.
let me call Limbert.
Have a seat.
No.
Rebecca,
Call.
listen. This whole thing is being recorded. Do not do something you are going to regret tomorrow.
Larry Limbert is actually Major Larry Limbert of the county sheriff's office.
Do me a favor and have a seat so we can do our job.
Larry
I'm not going
Limbert.
to call anybody yet, okay? We have stuff we have to do. Will you please have a seat? You're trying to walk out the door and you're almost falling down. Can you
I'm
please
not
have a
falling
seat?
down.
Have a seat.
Call Larry Limbert.
Rebecca, I will put you in one of the cells if you do
Okay,
not. I'm
call
trying
Larry
to really
Limbert
play.
now.
Have a seat.
Call him now. Call him now.
Call him now.
And that's not the judge's only request.
What can I do for you?
Drink.
Okay.
Water.
We just literally told you 10 seconds ago that we're getting you a drink of water. He's out front right now getting you the glass.
Not 10 seconds ago. I want drink of water now. Thank you. Call Larry Limbert.
I tried him. He didn't answer.
Really?
Do you want the water? The
Yeah,
water?
I do.
Okay.
Larry Limbert.
Okay.
Larry Limbert. Please. Thank you.
After refusing to take a breathalyzer, Judge Doherty is charged with operating a vehicle
Crazy,
while under the
this is
influence of
embarrassing.
alcohol.
Give me my
I wondered
phone
if he lose
so I can
her
phone.
license.
Your phone is in a puddle of vomit in your car, which is
I
on the
get
side
it.
of, can I finish? Which is on the side of the road that you crashed into.
Yes.
The tow company is out there trying to get it out. However, it is extremely snowy and slippery out. They are not able to get the
get it.
vehicle out so far. So
Totally
your
get it.
phone is off the table right now. We don't have access to it.
Judge Doherty receives a fine of $1,075 and 180 days in jail, which the presiding judge reduces to $375 and 3 days in jail. Her driver's license is suspended for a year, and she's ordered to complete a driver's intervention program. Meet the man in the fur cap, 21-year-old Robert Peterson. He's the person filming this footage as he enters the Kootenai County Courthouse in Idaho.
That has to go through the x-ray machine if you want to come in this building.
Peterson is a hearing for a minor traffic infraction, riding his bicycle at night without a light. But from the moment he steps inside the door, it's clear this won't be a typical security check.
And I'd just like to know where your warrant is.
I don't need
It's clearly posted on the entry of the building.
What? Clearly posted that I have to forfeit my right to be free from unreasonable search and seizure?
Coming into this building.
Yeah, every person is. I'm not a person. I'm a man.
And more specifically, a free man. Peterson considers himself a sovereign citizen.
I'm not subject to your jurisdiction, and the court has already confirmed that. I'm here for one purpose. All right.
You can submit or you can leave.
That's fine. I'll do that, but you will be charged a bill.
Charged a bill? Rather than escalating the situation, one of the bailiffs decides to play along.
You will be served a bill. I don't have any weapons. I didn't come here to raise a ruckus.
After clearing security, Peterson finds a seat at the rear of the courtroom and continues filming.
So there are no cameras in the court.
Excuse me?
There are no cameras in the court.
Yeah, there is.
No, you have to put that away.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
Under what authority?
You have to have a court order from a judge before you can have a camera in the courtroom.
Okay, well, I'm going to capture this on video.
You got to turn it off.
It's for both of our protection.
Well, you have to turn it off.
No, thank you.
Enter bailiff number 2.
No, thank you.
Shut the camera off now.
No, thank you. I do not consent to you touching me or seizing my property, so you need to
Shut
back
the
up.
camera off now.
I'm not doing anything wrong.
Yes, you
I'm holding you accountable because you're about to overstep your bounds.
The bailiffs then decide to clear the courtroom and question Peterson directly.
What's your first and last name?
I don't have a last name.
You don't have a last name?
No.
What's your first name?
I don't have a first name either. I've got a name. My name is Robert. You can call me Robert.
As you can see, this bailiff keeps his sense of humor about the situation.
What are you? Are you human?
I'm a man.
You're human?
I'm a man, yes.
Can I see your Idaho state license?
No, I don't have one.
You don't have one?
My person does, but I don't.
With the situation seemingly diffused,
Come on in, folks.
the bailiffs usher everyone back into the courtroom.
He went there. He seemed like he went out there to the courthouse to start some mess.
Excuse me. You're blocking my freedom of movement.
I am.
Blocking my freedom of
Pete
movement.
Barnes, you just admitted to me that you're violating my rights.
No, I'm not. You can't come in with the camera.
Well, you're violating my rights. And this is also freedom of the
Speak loud
press.
from behind you.
This is also freedom of the press. I mean, I don't know what the hell law book you're reading, man, but it doesn't apply to me. Why are you worried about cameras? Because you want to do something wrong? Because you want to do something wrong? Because if it's against the rules, that means it's because somebody intends on wronging somebody else. Because they're afraid of being held accountable.
What the fuck is this dude talking about, man?
It's a nice speech, but you're still not coming in.
It is a nice speech, but you still ain't coming in.
Please step aside. I'm going in.
No, you're not going in.
Don't touch me.
You're not going in, sir.
Let the record show
they-
that you just battered me.
They pulled out the taser on this boy. Oh, they just.
Step back.
After Peterson refuses to step back, Chief Bailiff Pete Barnes fires his
Yeah,
taser.
they tased this dude.
Stop, please.
Oh, man.
Hey, You know what? You guys are really overstepping your bounds right now.
You guys are really overstepping your bounds right now. They tased the shit out that
The answer
motherfucker.
to that question? Peterson's charged with 3 counts of battery and 1 count of contempt of court. He would later enter an Alford plea, meaning he didn't admit to committing a crime, but acknowledged there was likely enough evidence to convict him. Jail time was waived as part of the plea deal, and he was ordered to pay a fine for his original charge of riding a bike at night without a light.
I was mad. He got a little ticket for riding his bike.
Next, we're in
They
Sylvan
would come up
Lake,
to court and play that fucking
Deposition
sovereign
of 42-year-old
citizen shit.
David E. Taylor. The man on camera may look like just a regular guy, but to the followers of his multi-million-dollar mega church, they believe he's truly
He wanted them
holier
type
than
of
thou.
pastors.
Mr. Taylor, you also go by
Using the congregation.
Apostle?
Yes.
David Taylor claims he was personally visited by Jesus Christ, and
Oh.
now brings others into the light through his nonprofit organization, Joshua Media Ministries International, or JMMI. Today, Taylor's being deposed in a divorce case involving one of his volunteers, a woman who donated over $1 million to his ministry. Now, as part of the divorce proceedings, lawyers want to know exactly how that money was used.
On November
Nigga was
29th,
stealing it. That's what he was doing.
2013, JMMI paid over $6,000 to Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, he was
Yes.
What would that be for?
he was stealing it.
This is for clothes concerning my TV ministry as well.
June 2014, you spent $3,500 by JMMI to Versace in the Bahamas. Yes.
Well, that ain't something I purchase all the time.
Well, it looks like you did several times in...
I mean, I'm a very frugal person when it comes to this.
I don't see Macy's.
No, you don't see that, because Macy's don't have the kind of suits that I wear.
2013 and 14, JMMI spent over $30,000 in your clothes. That sound about right?
What year was that?
13 and 14?
Oh God, yes, because I was traveling so much. Yes, and sweating through all my clothes. Exactly. It probably wasn't enough.
Free cookie for life.
This is why I canceled my DoorDash subscription and switched to Cookie Today after months spending way too.
The hot seat gets hotter when Taylor's questioned about the ministry's fleet
Look
of
at this.
luxury
This nigga
cars.
is like,
You testified that JMMI owns 3 vehicles, a BMW, a Mercedes, and a Bentley.
Yes.
dang.
I have a question, just from a, you minister to the poor and the sick and all that. Isn't it a little offensive to be driving around in a Bentley and a Mercedes to people that really,
Nigga ain't got a Bentley. This nigga ain't got a fucking Mercedes.
Could be offensive if
Dang.
they know my life.
And the baptism by fire continues when he's asked about a $2.8 million mansion listed as a, quote, residential center by the ministry.
All right, so what
He
is
was-
this residential center?
Man, what was this dude doing? He must have been in something else. The congregation ain't giving him that much money.
Process of buying that.
All right, so where does the number $2,844,000 come from on your
That's the
asset and liability?
That's, I guess, the appraisal value of the
That's the
home.
appraisal
Wait,
value.
the appraised value of what?
I guess the appraisal value of the home.
The lawyer
home.
catches that Taylor refers to the property as a home.
Is it a home?
No, it's a residential center.
It's a
While Taylor's
residential
deposition
center.
was just part of a divorce case, it would later come back to haunt him. After the more than 3-hour video was posted online, the ministry and Taylor himself came under fire as allegations of misused funds flooded the internet. Despite the negative publicity, David E. Taylor continues to spread his gospel around the world. Convicted killer Joseph McEnroe,
Oh, yeah, killer.
the
Okay.
36-year-old was found guilty of brutally murdering 6 members of his girlfriend's family on Christmas Eve.
What?
McEnroe and the girlfriend
No, the
opened
day
fire
before
on
Christmas.
her parents. Later waited for her brother to arrive, then shot and killed him, his wife, and their 2 young children.
Why?
Michelle Anderson, the girlfriend and alleged mastermind of the gruesome plot, was said to have convinced McEnroe into committing the murders. The motive? Her brother allegedly owed her money.
All this.
After a more than 2-month
So you
trial,
kill a whole
which
family?
McEnroe wasn't heard from,
Like the boyfriend and the
prosecutors
brother
sustained the
couldn't
death
just
penalty.
box it out? You
But
gotta
now,
kill the whole
in this
family?
penalty phase, McEnroe takes the stand for the first time to plead his case for a lesser sentence.
What did you do to try to stop this, Joe?
I can't even say now. I tried everything that I could.
Well, why not just walk out the door and then leave?
I couldn't do that.
McEnroe remains emotionless, even as he describes exactly how he murdered one of the victims.
Then she wasn't moving anymore, and so I went over by where she was, and I told her that I was sorry, and I shot her in the head.
But in a split second, something changes. McEnroe breaks down as he describes what he saw as he cleaned up part of the crime scene.
See the emptiness where she should be.
Ain't going crazy.
But what came
He
next
trying
for
to
McEnroe was
act
perhaps the best
insane and shit, so he
indicator of
won't
just
go into
how
the prison.
divorced from reality
He's
he'd
like, I'll do
become.
the asylum, nice comfy bed,
That
padded
it is.
walls and shit. Yep.
Joseph McEnroe and Michelle Anderson would each be sentenced to 6
Nice.
life terms in prison for the murders
They
of
are
Anderson's
done.
family members.
Okay, next fellow would be Joseph Jerome Batten.
We're in the Broward County Bond Court in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The defendant is Joseph Jerome Batten, who's been charged with trespassing at a local track and casino for the second time in
just
2 months.
trespassing?
How you doing, Your Honor?
Good morning.
I do have a history, Your Honor. Can I speak to you, Your Honor?
In the past 2 years, Batten's made quite a habit of trespassing at local casinos. He's been convicted of it more than 10 times. So he knows the bond court drill. And he's not looking to resolve his case as the public defender suggested.
I already know I got a history. This man ain't said nothing to me now time in here this morning. All right, Your Honor? I'm just being frank with you. That's the only place I go. Only thing I do, as you can see, is nothing but trespassing. Cause that's my only entertainment. All right, is go to the track, and I like for you to make an offer. And if I like it, I accept it.
Batten has just requested an offer of minimal jail time from the judge, and he's hoping it's an offer that'll work for him. He's also seemingly taken his case into his own hands.
Shows how people come to court and they feel so entitled. Coming in there making demands and trying to strike deals and shit.
I ain't say resolve this. I said make an offer, which is how much time, whatever is 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I want to resolve it in that frame, in that fashion, sir.
As his attorney attempts to rejoin the conversation, Batten doesn't let him.
Judge, I've explained to Mr. Batten not to talk about the facts of the
Ain't
case.
no facts. We ain't going to trial. I'm asking you to make an offer, Your Honor. Straight up. It's history, proof is in the pudding. That's the only thing I got. As you can see, ain't nobody been hurt. I ain't never intoxicated when I'm arrested, so it ain't nothing. You know what I mean? All it is trespassing, simple trespassing.
Batten's presentation is
simple
compelling enough
trespass.
to
Come on,
convince
let's
Judge
make a
John
deal.
Contini to follow through on the request.
I understand, and I'm going to respect your request, sir. I'm going to go ahead and offer you a chance to be, if you were to plead no contest at this time, sir, I would offer you an adjudication. You'd be convicted, of course, as you have indicated. You have many of those already, and you'd be in. The plea offer would be 45 days in the Broward County Jail.
Judge Contini has extended an offer.
45 days, he ain't gonna go for that shit.
Well, nah, I ain't gonna accept 45 days, cause I did 30 days last time, just a week ago. But my birthday coming up, I'm hoping you can say a week or two, and I agree with that, you know what I mean? 45 days, nah, I think my regular judge let me out before 45 days.
Well, you can already tell I'm not really a regular judge.
Judge Contini explains since
Yeah,
Batten
like
is a
you
repeat
get
offender,
what I
45
give
days
you.
in jail is a reasonable sentence.
Sir, you have a real history And you've already indicated that's what you do, and that's what you're going to continue to do. And so,
Yeah, but ain't nobody been hurt. I ain't never intoxicated. I'm always bringing money to them places.
I respect your decision. I respect your decision. Your decision is to decline the offer at this time. Is that right?
All right. Yeah, I don't want to set the 45 days.
Okay. All right.
And in the end, Joseph Batten did not serve 45 days. He eventually appeared before a different judge, pled no contest to trespassing, and received just 17 days in jail.
What do you want? He got what he
Fort
wanted.
Lauderdale, Florida, where Judge John Hurley's holding bond hearings via closed-circuit TV with inmates detained at the Broward County Jail.
Joseph Britton, is he in the courtroom? Is Mr. Joseph Britton in the courtroom?
42-year-old Joseph Britton's charged with battery, disorderly conduct, and resisting arrest after an altercation with a restaurant employee. The dust-up ended with Britton licking his hand and putting it on the worker.
Mr. Miller, I'd back up, and I'd back up pretty quick if I were you. May I see one of the deputies? Mr. Britton, take a step to your right.
So what is it exactly that has Judge Hurley so worked up?
Yes, Your Honor. This gentleman has claimed he has Ebola.
Ebola?
Oh, man.
This is the first time guards and other inmates are hearing that Britton claims he's infected with the contagious and potentially deadly Ebola virus, which is what he told arresting officers.
They got Ebola. That's crazy.
Of all the prisoners, can you send him out in the hallway?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yo, wake up, man. Hey, get up. Take the females out that way.
As the courtroom's evacuated, the entire jail goes on lockdown. It's estimated that Britton has had contact with more than 200 inmates and personnel since his arrival. Off-camera hazmat responders arrive and transport Britton to a hospital to undergo testing for the virus. An hour later, a guard returns to the now empty jailhouse courtroom.
You want us to start bringing them back in?
Well, wait. I'm a little curious about this. Has someone determined that the man does not have Ebola?
Well, they're taking the steps now.
Turns out the whole thing was a false alarm. Britton's test results come back negative, and he claims he never told the arresting officers he was infected with the virus. The confusing episode doesn't result in any additional charges, and Britton is released the next day on a $1,000 bond.
Bruh, why you do all that? You could have got yourself in more trouble.
The 16-year-old is in juvenile court after violating his probation. He's joined by his mother. Next to them is the court clerk. But noticeably absent is his attorney. As Judge John Woolley inquires about the lawyer's whereabouts, the teen addresses the court.
I would like to fight for myself and not have an attorney.
It appears this young defendant wants to play Perry Mason, but Judge Woolley doesn't necessarily think that's a good idea.
Oh, that's not a smart play. That's like going out on the field with the New York Yankees and you've never even learned how to play baseball.
That's fine.
So I'm not going to do that. You're going to have an attorney assist you in this matter. I'm not going to let him fly solo and walk into a court of law and try to practice law when he hasn't even finished high school.
I just
He
wanted
finishes trying to throw him a bone here.
We're sending it over to Tuesday.
What Judge Woolley doesn't clarify is that he believes a juvenile can't legally plead guilty without an attorney present.
I'm not going to accept an admission at this time.
We're not getting to do what we want,
So put it on for Tuesday for either admit or deny, or for whether or not there'll be a replacement of the attorney.
So far, it looks like Judge Woolley's doing everything in his power to help this defendant. But when the teen continues to question him,
why can't I just admit today that?
The judge loses his temper.
Because I'm doing my job, sir. My job requires that I protect your constitutional rights. You as an American citizen. That's my charge. And if you're too stupid to know that what I'm trying to do is protect you, then let me spell it out for you. So step one is I bring the case back with an attorney, and then we talk.
Notice as the court clerk tries to signal to the teen to be quiet.
Because I'm doing my job, sir.
Then scores some brownie points with the boss by backing him up.
And our state Supreme Court has backed you up on that.
They have. And I'm sure the U.S. Supreme would too.
And listen carefully as Mom expresses her dissatisfaction with the judge's choice of words.
The Supreme Court has backed you up on that.
They have. And I'm sure the U.S. Supreme would too.
Okay. You're going to take
Your son is acting stupid. The judge is trying to help him out. He don't know his rights. He don't know how this court shit work. You talking to an experienced judge there, boy.
Apologies to everyone in this courtroom. I very rarely lose my temper.
If you want to call it that.
But when I do, it's usually because someone is too stupid to recognize that I'm trying to help them.
There are just a few issues with Judge Woolley's backhanded apology. One, he's just doubled down on calling the defendant stupid.
Which usually because someone is too stupid to recognize that I'm trying to help them.
And two,
I very rarely lose my temper.
Problem is, that's not entirely true. Over a 2.5-year period, Judge Woolley was cited for 4 separate incidents by the Washington State Commission on Judicial Conduct for, quote, a pattern of discourteous, impatient, and undignified behavior. Judge John Woolley would later receive a public reprimand for his ill-tempered courtroom conduct.
Oh, that's not a smart thing.
Probably a strong arm court.
Thanks for being a fan of Court Cam.
Yeah, man. These court shit was wild. Especially the one where old boy sat there and fucking, you know, paced his motherfucking ass right in there and dropped him to the floor. But all these was cool. They wasn't like too crazy as I thought they was gonna be. But hey, maybe on the next live, I'll find something that's way, way, way more crazier. I know there's some out there. I think I seen one where the dude was finna run and attack the judge and jump over the bench. So y'all want to see that? Just always, y'all know. Just tune in. Thanks for the ones that did tune in. Till next time, y'all. I am out, y'all.